T2.
Me too.
Hey guys, what's up? Welcome back to our channel. Thanks for tuning in again. Today we will be talking about 21 Bridges.
21 Bridges.
Our movie review. As you can see, I'm taking the lead today. So buckle in, sit back and relax because this is going to be a crazy ride.
Uh-oh.
I mean, 21 Bridges was just crazy overall. I mean, like the intensity from the beginning to end was, I think they did a very good job on keeping you kind of like honed in on like all of the different pieces that are falling together.
Yeah, they paced it really well. There wasn't like points where I felt like it was boring or anything. It was, yeah.
Most def. Because especially with doing like that time stuff in movies where you have like 4 hours of activity, you know, like, cause it was like 1 o'clock in the morning and you're like, okay, well, we have until like 5:30 before we have to open the island back up, you know? And so you're like, okay, well, they got 4 hours, you know, how are they going to make this like realistic in like the amount of time it takes to do this and the amount of time it takes to do that. And I think they did a really good job of putting the timestamps at the bottom and making you actually be like, okay, yeah, that would have taken about 2 hours for them to figure that out. And like, okay, that was more realistic. And like, oh, okay, yeah. And like keeping that counting down up until like the island opened itself back up again.
Yeah. At first I wasn't sure how realistic that timing was going to be. But I did think about it too, because they did close down the whole island. Because it's New York, so I'm thinking like, how fast can you possibly travel like there and back? But then they did close down like all of Manhattan, so I guess it made it way easier to get to certain points.
I loved how he knew all of the ways in and out of Manhattan.
Yeah,
he like 21 bridges. It was like a 3 rivers, 4 this, and like the bridges and like the tunnels and the trains, and it was crazy. But I could not imagine us, you know, like. We're in New York, right? And then it's like we just pulled in on Central Station or something, you know, and all of a sudden it's like you can't get nowhere or whatever, you know, you can't go anywhere. Like all those, imagine there like tens of thousands of people that were out that night and couldn't do shit because everything got shut down. And
you saw the train station getting shut down. Everybody was waiting on their train to go wherever.
And everything got canceled. And you know, had it been Chicago, man, people would have been losing their minds.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been riots and shit.
Yeah.
They were so... That was the one thing I have to say that was kind of like, I thought there would have been a little more anger about that like, you couldn't do shit.
Yeah, that's
Everybody
true.
kind of just sat down in the train station and was like, okay, well, I'm going to take my laptop out and sit here.
I refuse to believe New York is that calm and collected like, during them kind of times.
Especially when every single thing gets canceled. I can see, especially when there's no cause. It's like usually if you see like a snowstorm coming in, it's like, okay, that's probably why these things are going to get canceled. But it's like a perfectly normal night. The weather is perfectly fine. And all of a sudden you're standing there waiting for your train or your bus or whatever. And all of a sudden you're told like Manhattan has shut down and like you're not allowed to do anything. Yeah. Or when they did that 7-block radius and shut down the whole thing. Yeah. Like imagine living in that 7-block radius and like we're trying to get in from the club.
Trying to get in or out.
And you can't get home now because you can't get through. And your Uber driver is like, sorry, they shut down the streets. So you're kind of like waiting around and stuff. But either way.
Yeah, and they didn't even really say anything on the TVs until like later after they closed everything down. So it's like
you couldn't prepare.
Yeah, nobody knew why it was happening, when it was happening until like maybe an hour later when they found
out who they were looking for. Yeah. I couldn't imagine like a crazy manhunt like that after me. Like you killed these cops, so you know they're shooting first, asking questions later. Not that they don't normally do that, but you know they're way more like, you know, in the right, they feel like, or whatever, because you shot 8 of their own or whatever.
Right.
But I think it was an awesome movie. I mean, Chadwick Boseman did a wonderful job at his character, I think.
Yeah. I was glad to see that he was actually able to do that and pull it off, because my thing about like the superhero like actors and actresses is that a lot of times they get typecasted into those roles and they can't really do anything else, or they just don't get hired to do anything else. So I was glad to see that Chadwick actually, he nailed that shit. Like he actually did it. So now I can definitely see him being in other movies, because at first I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if it was going to be one of those things where it's like, he's just the Black Panther in a suit now, or like in New York. And his accent was okay. His New York accent, he tried to do the New York accent. It was okay. I'm not even from New York, but it's just like, it was okay. Like, it wasn't too bad.
And you know, I kind of wondered if Because in New York, and I've only been there once.
Yeah.
I don't know too much about it, but I do know that accents change depending on where you live at in New York.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like his accent might have just been reflecting of where his character came from.
Yeah, maybe.
Because some people, like the Bronx has a certain accent compared to like, maybe being in Manhattan, where they don't really, to me, they didn't really, when we were there in Manhattan, I didn't hear an accent from people like that.
Yeah.
But that's more of the uppity neighborhood where.
Yeah. And we were in a very touristy area too.
True.
When
Even
I
like
went to New York the second time, when we were like in, where were we at? I think we were in Brooklyn. You could hear it a lot. It was everywhere.
I can definitely understand that because, I feel like it's just, because certain areas have certain, like, more, like, the demographics are different.
Yeah.
So, when you're closer to, like, the islands, then you have people coming out with, like, a more island accent, and you're kind of like, hey, you're in New York, how do you get this accent? But then you forget that, like, that's the entrance for people when they come in from other places.
Yeah, true.
So you get a lot of just different demographics.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I felt bad, though, during the whole movie because even though they killed all those cops, I was really rooting for Michael.
Michael. Oh, yeah, I was too. I kind of was too.
Ray, and I kind of liked their dynamic. I like how they made, like, first of all, I liked how it was one white person and one black person. That was nice. It wasn't, they kind of like, I don't know. I still feel like usually when there's like a crime, it's like, I don't know. I was just hoping that they wasn't, because usually it's like, okay, and I could be completely wrong. Maybe I could be biased, but I feel like when there's like organized crime, it's more like white-based characters. Mm-hmm. But then when it's like kind of like a job like this was, where it was kind of like on the streets and they kind of just did it, then it's like a more black casted type. But this one was cool because like
they mixed it up.
They mixed it up, and they had the military background. It wasn't like some poor kids from the hood that just tried to like find some drugs or whatever. Yeah. So I think that was really cool, but also how like Ray was the crazy one and Michael was like smart and he was destined for greatness at some point, but then he just didn't have that. Like she said, he didn't come from the background that would have put him somewhere else. So he kind of had to like make do with what he had. Yeah. But the whole time I'm just like, oh, I don't want Michael to die. Or like, I don't want Michael to go to jail.
Yeah, they did do a good job of that, of adding depth to the characters. And that was actually something I wanted to talk about because like you said, you were rooting for Michael. I was too. And I was kind of like, I didn't really care too much about Ray because I kind of knew how he was, like his background and everything. But one thing that I was looking more for was depth to Chadwick's character. I didn't really like feel anything from him and just like, except for like the whole like, my dad died.
Right.
And I'm in the
I
police.
I feel like that was enough because usually depth comes with when you have depth for a character, that's just to get people to be emotionally attached to them. Right. But with starting the movie off with like little Chadwick Boseman sitting there and his dad's got, murdered by these 3 guys, or whatever. Mm-hmm. And we kind of missed the beginning, so I don't really know.
We did. Yeah.
But starting off with the funeral and you're kind of like, oh, that's so sad. And then you see like the part with his mother and she has like the dementia, know. So, and she's like the devil in the eyes, and she's thinking he's talking to her dad, but she's not. She's talking to her son and she doesn't realize that. He has to keep correcting her. I don't know if you picked up on that, but she called him the wrong name at first, and that was his dad's name. And he's like, no, it's Andre. Remember Dre? And she's like, oh, right. But the words that she said to him were so true, and it still resonated with him because he was on his dad's job, and the reason why he went in. Remember, he said in the beginning, it's my DNA. Right. Yeah. So I feel like we got depth from the character, but more from like emotional pulls rather than like the cops having a whole sheet on him and being like, oh, like this is his background. His dad died, he was young, whatever. Yeah. He grew up with his mom. He lives with his mom now at this house, doing this and that. Whereas with the characters, we got their background and got depth to them because of the way the movie played out, because he had the criminal background, the military thing, dishonorable discharge. Oh, he's smart. His brother was best friends with this guy. Then he died. So he took care of his brother, the little brother, because he felt responsible for him. Yeah. He's the killer. He's not the killer, Whereas Chadwick Boseman's character, we kind of got, he was perfect for the job because they thought that because his background, his dad being, killed by cop killers, they call, that they thought that he was going to be shooting first, asking questions later. Like, remember when Burns was like, I thought you were a cop. I thought you were the right man for the job. I thought you were running back these cop killers and you're not shooting him or whatever. He's like, well, I like to know the truth first. Right. And so I feel like, I got enough from him to like kind of
I think I was just looking for something like, it just didn't seem like he had anything to lose. Like there was nothing like really on the line for him, Whereas like most of the time the movies will have like that one thing where it's like, I don't know, if they get away, then they just got away with killing like my best friend or like my close friend.
Well, he did the one officer. That was like probably the most emotion we got
Marcus,
from him.
yeah.
Was when he was like, oh. And you kind of saw me a look, like kind of like,
for like 5 seconds.
Yeah, I can see that definitely with that character, with his character. I could definitely see there wasn't too much, except for when he got close to Michael, kind of, you can see the more like intensity, where he was like, he didn't want Michael to die.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like if I was Michael, man, I'd rather take a bullet. I ain't going to jail for killing 8 cops.
Yeah, right.
Like he said, you're gonna possibly die in jail.
Right.
Like he's not even gonna make it to jail.
Right.
You know, like knowing, especially with how dirty cop. I mean, at the end of the day, there's always gonna be good cops and bad cops. Mm-hmm. And with this whole movie, they showed you how bad cops can be. And so you already know they're corrupt. So Michael was not gonna make it to jail. He probably wasn't gonna make it to trial. Right. So I definitely would not have been the one to be like, okay, I probably would have told him.
Yeah, I would have gave up some shit.
Everything, but I definitely would have made a move to get shot because I'm not getting ready to
shoot
sit
myself.
here and get my ass beat. Like, you know, and then be put up to jail for like 3 life sentences because you know, he didn't really kill. If you notice, like with the shooting scenes, he didn't kill like nearly as many people as he could have. I don't think because even Ray would be like, he told him, he's like, hold back, I got it, don't worry about it. Mm-hmm. And whenever Michael was shot, he always shot to injure, not to kill.
Yeah, he never killed anybody except for the first guy.
Live. Yeah, he like let him live.
Mm-hmm.
And then he was like, but then Ray would like shoot him anyways or whatever. Right. But I don't know, I kind of liked. It was good. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Like and especially the girl next to me was like cracking me up because she was like saying a lot of things that I was thinking. She was really into it. And so I was laughing because, I don't know, it's just funny when people get into it. It's just like you get into it. Mm-hmm. But the theater was pretty quiet overall. I kind of I don't know if it's...
Yeah, theaters are kind of boring now.
Yeah,
you just don't be getting into it no more.
I don't know if it's the location or what, but like I kind of miss... I don't like it when it's too much interaction
when it's
from
like
the audience.
Rowdy.
And it's too like ratchet or something. But I kind of like a little like... You know, oh yeah, or like,
what the fuck,
right? You know, or it's just like, you know, or you better tell them like, man, I wish a bitch would, like, or you know, just something. Yeah. But I know in that last scene, all I could think about was like, don't forget the flash drives, like with all the shooting and everything. But I don't know. I would definitely recommend it for people to go see.
Yeah, I would too.
And it just was cool. And it was like how you said, remember, he's like, oh, it wasn't about the captain goes, oh, it wasn't about the Rolexes with the money that they were something.
And even that was like, I was like, damn. I felt that, but then it was like, damn, but you kind of y'all dirty though.
Right, it's true, and it's like, and I can see that they tried to like make you pull your heartstrings, you know, see like, oh, cops really be out here. Mm-hmm. Like, and see that people don't care about us. They don't realize they're wasting our lives. But that's my thing. It made me think about was like, I understand that it sucks to do a job where you feel like you're not appreciated or that you're not like respected enough or whatever. Mm-hmm. But there are so many jobs that people have to do that, and they, you know, that people have to do that shit, and you don't see them like resorting to like the worst behaviors or like reflecting it on. It's like teachers get treated like shit, and they gotta deal with people's kids all day, and like students who disrespect them, and they got shootings happening and everything, but like they still come into class smiling, trying to, you know, come through for kids or whatever, spend their own money on supplies and stuff because they don't have that. The schools don't have the budgets and everything. So it's like I understood what he was saying, but at the same time, I just feel like, when you go into a profession like that, it's like you have to understand all of the risks and all of the like the reasons why you're in there. You're not, if you're just going for a power trip, then obviously you're gonna be the ones that I feel like just ends up feeling entitled to your badge and thinking your badge is like the, you know, like you feel like you're entitled, and that was a problem. It's like I feel like, I mean, I understand you wanted to have the families, or whatever, but when you're a cop, you know, that's part of the job criteria is like being shot at, you know, like that's when you go to the military, like you're going to get shot at. And so it's not like you're signing up and they didn't tell you that you're going to get shot at, or you had a risk of not coming home, or like your friends might die on the job or whatever. So I kind of like there was no part of me that was kind of like, oh yeah, you're right. Like you guys probably do need the extra money or whatever. When it's like, there's so many other people out here. It is like, you know, has to do shit that they don't like to do either, and don't get appreciated at all, like, and they get treated like shit as well. And I feel like that's the problem. People try to like justify when cops, like I was at work one time and I was talking to someone and some person had got shot. It was like a bar shooting or something. Like the guy, some guy came in and started shooting, but then the security guard or something like shot him to save other people or whatever in the bar, and then the security guard ended up getting shot even though he was on the job or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And the cops shot him because but he didn't have his the whole situation was like messed up. Like his gun wasn't even like drawn, or then it was like he was holding it in his hand, but like in a very like this surrender kind of way where it's like upside down or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And like he got shot. It was like in the suburbs or somewhere. I can't remember what neighborhood, but either way, long story short, the whole story reads like, you know, the person that got shot or whatever, you know, they got to do the whole like, yeah, man, he had like 4 murders on him and like all this other stuff or whatever. And then you have like the cop who shot him, who wasn't supposed to shoot him, go like, you know, yeah, but he's a cop for all these years and like all this stuff. And like, this is why you should feel bad for him and not get upset that he shot this man. But like at the same time, and then I remember saying like, well, he shouldn't have shot. And the person's like, well, when you're a cop, you know, and you're out here in the streets and everything and people are shooting, like you're afraid for your life. Like you have to shoot and stuff before, even if you feel like and I said, well, the thing is that you as a cop are trained to know how to react under pressure.
Supposedly.
They're
supposed to be trained.
You're supposed to be trained. From my understanding, you are trained to know how to react under pressure and in volatile situations. And you are not supposed to be shooting first and asking questions later.
Right.
You know, it shouldn't be
unless you're shot at.
Right. Yeah. And like, so if there's no shots being fired or there's no like threat to your immediate life, this is why you learn hand-to-hand combat. This is why you have other weapons that you can use.
Right.
And people always try to justify it because they're just like, oh, well, you know, they're risking their lives or they're doing this and that. And it's just like, well, this is how you got cops in the streets. They're justifying shooting first and asking questions later because you got people out here being like, oh, good job, man. I know it's hard on a job like that. And it's like, okay, but you just took away someone's, just like you said, you have kids at home waiting for you. Well, this person just had kids at home waiting for them. And now you got their dad or their mom being painted in the news like some type of criminal or something or whatever, who doesn't even have a criminal background, you know, or who doesn't even have anything coming against them. But because they reached for a seatbelt or they reached for a phone, or you didn't know if they had a weapon or they just turned around and talked to you and you freaked out, you know, all of a sudden you shot and you're just like, oh. Or it's like, okay, if you're going to shoot somebody, at least like, I would just shoot for like, if you don't see a weapon, if you're going to shoot for like a shoulder or like, you know, they can't do shit with that. Or like, if you don't actually see a weapon, it's like, it's just so crazy how there's so many different like viewpoints on it, I guess. Yeah. So I guess this movie did well on catching both sides of the story, like the civilian point or whatever. Yeah. And then like, you know, the cop, I don't know, like the cop viewpoint of it.
Yeah, just like the tired cop, the one that's like, that probably, seen too many years. And like, that's probably what happens is like, they go in there. Some of them go in there for a power trip, of course. And then some of them go in there knowing the risks and everything. And then over the years, it just like wears them down. Just like the teacher thing. Yeah. Like some teachers just go crazy and they start hitting students. And then some of them start like, you know, just going stupid. I remember I saw that it was one video of a teacher like cutting a student's hair because like they just took out some scissors and cut her hair off. And apparently it was because they were so stressed and so many years of just like dealing with students misbehaving and shit.
First of all, I want to know like how the teacher got that close to the student's hair in the first place.
Yeah.
Cause like in order for you to cut my hair, like I gotta sit there and I have to literally.
Can you imagine like seeing a teacher sneak up behind you?
Right, like I gotta actually like you sit there. First of all, I'm thinking you ready to kill me. Like you stick up behind me with some scissors. I'm thinking like, damn, is that bad? Like, come on. But I definitely enjoyed it. But then again, I feel like I'm also a very like over the years, I think I turned more into like Black Panther. I'm not Black Panther, but I don't know. I'm like at first I used to be more like when it came to like these kind of things, I was more like in the middle, like neutral. But I've definitely over the years leaned more towards like I don't know, like the civilian viewpoint of like cops don't need to be shooting people out here in the streets, and like it irritates me a lot more now because I'm just like I've experienced just even just like rude cops or just cops that have no reason to even be like rude or be so disrespectful towards people, but you want to demand respect from other people. And it's just like the entitled part. It's just sometimes you just sit there and you're just kind of like, wow, like how do you expect when anyone be like people need to respect me, and it's just like, well, what are you giving them to respect? Or like, you know, it's like, what do you, if you're so tired, or even with the teachers and stuff, like when you're tired, it's just like people need to realize that like when people are at their wits end and like let them go rather than putting them out here in the streets, you know, aimed, you know, all geared up, ready to do some damage, whether it be teacher damage in a student's life because they're scarred for something, or like,
Right.
you know, or a cop shooting a dad on the way home and the dad doesn't come home anymore, or like, you know, whether it be politicians that are fucking corrupt as fuck now,
Yeah.
and you know, and now it's like knowing when to call people, when to tell people like you're
Yeah.
got this done.
Yeah, I guess that's it comes down to the people in charge of these people too. It's like you can't just be buddy with these people all
Yeah.
the time. Like
You have to have that line. It's like
Yeah.
that's the part of being a manager or being a superintendent or being whatever. It's like you have responsibility. Like having that relationship is great,
yeah,
but you have to know what to do with that power. And I feel like people don't know what to do with power, or power
Yeah.
gets to their head so much so where they just feel like, you know, their only job is to tell people what to do, but you have no responsibility for them
right.
at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or you know, that's just like a whole other conversation though. But
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, it just definitely brought up a lot of like topics or a lot of like discussion points. You kind of were definitely crossed your mind.
I thought it was gonna go that direction too, like because there were a few of I don't know. There were a few situations where like they just straight up shot and didn't like
Yeah.
stop. So I thought it was gonna go that direction of like just bringing up like police brutality and like just cops just shooting people dead in the streets. But what I did like was that they actually tied it into like, oh, these people are part of like a bigger scheme.
Right.
It's not just people out here that just want to kill people.
They're kind of covering
covering something up.
back. Yeah. Like the
Yeah.
club scene where he's like from the ankle holster of a, you know,
Of
a fat cop.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dang, like
Yeah.
even that whole scene, I was in the club like, dang,
I was like-
I would have been pissed as hell. She
Yeah.
stopped, and then she like was like fighting the guy, whatever. And I'm just like, you know, that's just crazy. Like that's like, you know, you just took someone's life. Like they were just shooting people in this movie. Like it wasn't shit. Like
Yeah.
you was in the club with all these people and you just shot. Like it was
Yeah.
so crazy in there. I don't even see how he even felt comfortable shooting like that, because the way he shot, it was two people behind the dude.
Yeah.
Like had they made one move, or had he like made a move like this or to the right or to the left, like
Right.
it
And he shot him in
showed-
the head, which is
Yeah.
a very small like target compared to the rest of the body.
Right.
So it was
It
like,
was, but no. Or like the scene when the dude looks through the peephole and got shot in the
yeah.
eye. I was blown away.
I was like, why did he even shoot him though? Because like that was, but I guess they were just killing
And
everybody that was
how-
part of
yeah,
it. I
and
guess
then that's how it got all like linked together. That's when I finally started realizing, because when he was like, who is ever at my door is going to lose their badge. Because remember, the launderer was
Right.
linked to the cops as well.
Right.
So he knew that cops shouldn't have been at his door in the first place.
Right.
So he knew when they came and they were shooting. He's
That's
like,
why he's all chill. He's like, why the fuck?
right.
What
And
y'all
he got to the
doing?
door, but then they shot. And I'm like, dang.
Once old girl shot Michael, I was like, oh yeah, I already know. Like this is
I
all
knew-
just.
Yeah.
And how did she make that shot though?
Well, she was standing in the door.
She shot him dead in the chest, right past his shoulder, through
Well,
the
because-
door.
No, not through. She was in the door. You didn't see when she shot. I saw him. You didn't see off of Chadwick Boseman's right shoulder. I saw her silhouette.
Yeah,
She
yeah.
Remember that she never opened the door. That
Right, she shot through the door straight.
The door was already. She opened the door already.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Cause she didn't open the door after she shot.
I thought she opened.
walked
I thought she
in.
came in after she shot.
I thought she just pushed the door open more.
Either way, that's still a tough shot to get. Shooting somebody dead in the middle of their chest, right by somebody's right shoulder. I don't know. I was just like, okay, whatever.
But I feel like it was the way that they were standing, because Chadwick Boseman's character was kind of like standing at an angle, and then the one guy was already coming at him straight.
Yeah.
And then when he gave him the gun, I felt like and she's shorter too. Remember?
I don't care. She ain't making that shot.
But no,
Either way.
I knew she was suspect when
From the very beginning. To me,
I knew for sure that she was kind of like suspect when they were in the meat locker and she was like, just shoot him or whatever.
Yeah.
Because she had me pretty convinced for the most part at the club when she's like, what the hell is going on? Because like when he got mad about the person getting shot, and he didn't even shoot anybody, you know, he was getting mad, and she's just like, what the fuck is going on? Like she seemed like she was really like, what the hell? Like why are we just shooting people out here? So she had me convinced on that scene. So I didn't think she was suspect until like after that, when they were running through the thing, and then she went in, and then she's like, just shoot him, like don't listen to anything he has to say. And then I'm like, dang girl, you
Right.
little trigger finger happy here, I see, you know. Or like when she was just like, is this the right guy? Like, are you the supposed person that's killing cop killers out here? And like,
Right.
you shoot first and da da da. Like I started realizing like, okay, you really are bloodthirsty right now. Like you just want some blood out here on these streets.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. She was a little off to me for the whole thing. I did kind of forget about it, and then I got reminded of it later on. But even when she first came in, like she just didn't seem like she belonged. Like
she's from narcotics, so she's just seemed like the usual narcotics person that was just from New York. You know, New York girls are tough, so she wasn't very. She was walked in. I thought she just came in like, you can either fuck with me or you cannot fuck with me. But I don't, you know, she was like, you can fight with me on the way or you can use me. Like it's no point. Like, you know, I'm telling you what I know. And then when they were like bouncing off the cities, whatever, I'm not gonna go here, I'm not gonna go there. And she's like, yeah, you sure as hell I ain't gonna go here. And where's Chinatown? It's in Manhattan. Like,
right.
You know, she just seemed very like homegirl type.
Yeah.
And then
but she's on the police force, so I'm thinking like, I don't know. She's
from narcotics though. That's a whole different type of cop.
I don't know anything
just
about
like
it.
If you
I
have
know,
like I think, you know, different departments, you know, in those forces have like different types of personas.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I don't know. But overall, definitely go see 21 Bridges. It was good.
Out of 5 stars, what would you give it?
I would definitely give it 5 stars because it had me. I didn't even talk to you at all during the movie.
Yeah, true.
So I definitely give it 5 stars because, you know, I always have some type of commentary, and I didn't make not one comment through that movie.
Yeah. I would. Yeah, I could give it a 5.
Okay.
I would give it a 4.5.
Okay.
I think what would have saved it for me would be if I felt a little more grounded with Chadwick's character.
Okay.
And I would have given it a 5. I would have given it a 4 if it had ended when I thought it was gonna end.
When Michael got shot?
When Michael got shot.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to end right there.
I was like, oh no, this movie better not end. You still got a little bit more you can do with this. And I was happy that, you know.
But it got another half star for that conclusion. You know.
That's what I thought it was going to be. I'm hoping it'd be a sequel.
I can see it being a sequel.
I can see it being one too.
Because we only saw the drug dealer one time. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure his whole shit is fucked up now. Well, maybe not because.
Drugs. His ends are
He got all of it? He got all of it.
No, he got.
Oh, he was supposed to get 30, but he got 50.
Right, so he got more than what
he might be.
And he got the money. But the only he's still loose in though because they just found out about the cops being on the payroll.
Yeah.
So, but I still understand like the whole the flash drives. Like I get that he had other customers too that weren't cops.
Yeah.
But I'm just trying to figure out like, I guess okay, so he cleaned their drug money.
Right.
That makes sense now. Yeah, I think they can still do a lot more. Yeah. You know, the launderer is dead, so everyone's dead for the most part. So you have to just find out who you can kind of.
You could just do something else. Now it's another case.
Yeah, or like angry cops who don't get caught, kind of thing. Where they're retaliation for his character, for Chadwick's character, or the drug dealer you said. But hopefully there's a sequel. I definitely demand a sequel.
I demand it.
But yeah, so hopefully you enjoyed our movie review and you go check it out for yourself. Leave some comments below letting us know what you liked, what you didn't like, or if you agree or disagree with us. We're always up for the discussion.
You did.
But this is Ari Safari.
I'm Kevin Hughes.
And thanks for tuning in.
Peace.